Welcome back to the BioCrit Productions podcast. Thank you for joining me again today. Today we have a special guest as well. I have Allan as well as Sam, an old friend that Allan and I went to high school with. How you doing today, Sam?
I'm doing good, man. It's been even longer than that. I think I actually went to elementary school with Allan.
Yeah, we went to SAC together. I've known this motherfucker 24 years.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Damn,
So most of my life, I'm old as fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, right? That's crazy. Well, that's nuts. And I haven't really talked to you in, God knows, years now, since at least graduation.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at that. It's like, I saw something that said class of 2025, and I'm like, God damn, I'm so old. I was 2011.
Yeah. 2011. You guys remember that year pretty well?
I don't. Well, actually, yeah, I joined the military and then left for basic training in that year. And before the year was up, I was living in Germany. So I do remember that.
Nice. That's cool, though. You were in Germany.
Pretty well.
To answer your question, Germany was pretty sweet. I actually miss it. It feels kind of like an unwritten chapter in my life. I would love to go back and explore some more. Ironically, my current love, however, as far as traveling goes, is Colombia. So I love South America. It's pretty sweet.
That's actually, like, you can ask my dad. Ever since I was in elementary school, I've always wanted to go to Brazil, South America in general, but Brazil just for the Amazon. I'm the same way. I've always loved South America. Really, just the tropical, like the rainforest and stuff, is what I'm interested in. I don't really want to like go get my head cut off or anything. You know, there's give and take there.
Come on, when in Rome.
When in Rome.
What's a little bit of shrunken heads between friends, guys?
Well, how you doing today, Allan?
I'm all right, man. Just trying to keep up with all my shit, you know, all my chores, all the exercise, all the shit you're supposed to do as a human flesh sack.
Alan's struggling with his mortal coil.
Yes, very much so. But I'm masking. I'm trying to mask. I'm trying to pretend like everything is awesome. You know, how does that Lego song go?
Kind of everything is awesome. I'll sing it if you need. I'm here for you, boo boo.
Please do. I could use it. I could use the the
everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Is that good?
That was great. Thank you. I do feel better. I appreciate it.
You know what?
I cracked a smirk.
My window's open, so everyone heard it.
Amazing. I mean, to be fair, it's like you're keeping that voice in the public. How dare you?
How dare you? I know, I try. I do karaoke. What can I say? What are you guys playing right now?
Okay, we're playing Funcom's Conan Exiles. It's the Age of Heroes update so far.
Oh, nice.
This is it's a PvE PvP game that Allan kind of, like, I shouldn't say Allan got me into, but I think we found it roughly at the same time and decided to try it. He really enjoys it for the survival aspect of the game. It's very, how shall we say, unforgiving.
Oh yeah,
but I'm about ready to rage quit on this fucking thing because even the PC version's fucking up.
I will say
that's been the story with Conan. Is like you get invested because it's really cool. There's a lot of good shit, and then they add some update like what he just mentioned, Age of Heroes, and then the base game just turns to shit, and then they just don't fix it. This game, I don't know when it launched. It launched on console in 2018. So do the math. How long has this been out? And it's still a glitchy piece of shit. It's frustrating because it's such a cool game. It's just marred by ridiculous glitches that should not be.
Honestly, Allan got me into that game a long time ago too, and Allan saw what I built in that. I did it. I like to do the survival as well, and I built like a mega castle that had. I mean, it was just ridiculous. It was kind of built in the shape of the umbrella symbol, where it's like kind of an octagon. Do you remember that, Allan? Do you remember me showing you that?
Yeah, your shit was pretty good. Yeah, I remember that.
It was massive. I love that. But I do it all legit with the regular stats and everything just because I like the challenge. But I build mega bases. That's my goal.
I think this is probably the only server that Allan and I have started since we've restarted 5 times where we have an increase in the resource production. We didn't change the combat whatsoever. Actually, excuse me, we did change the stamina decrease. But as said, it's like we went for like quality of life changes because like him and I played Sons of the Forest pretty routinely, and that game has a brutal hunger and thirst mechanic.
Yeah. And sometimes when you do it enough, you're just kind of like, I'm overdoing it, you know, like I need it a little bit easier. because I feel like I've accomplished it already. I don't want to keep dealing with this, whatever that is. So sometimes I'll turn up the stats after playing a game for a long time, like Ark. But I usually have to feel like I earned it first. Like I got to be able to build the regular
the skill tree.
The problem I have with that mechanic in games is that it feels like if you're actually in the survival setting, you're not going to be eating that much. Like it's ridiculous the amount of food you're eating in some of these games where you're stopping mid combat to eat a piece of meat. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, not right now. You know.
What if you did like a character creator in a game like this, and like the fatter you made your character, the more annoying he would be about being hungry, but you could technically survive longer without eating, you know? Like he would be like moaning and groaning, but you wouldn't die as fast as someone who was skinny and like had the slower or the faster metabolism. And I don't know. I feel like that could be a funny little mechanic if you like interwove it with the actual body that you built.
I'm surprised it's not a thing in some game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, particularly Ark.
Yeah. I got my fix. I'm done with Ark. I say that. I'll go back eventually. I know me.
I just have an issue with the developers pulling the bait and switch for what was it I forget what it was, but basically their VIP/premium version. They didn't honor for later players and had them repurchase it again when the new expansion came out.
Yep, I do agree with that.
Basically said, buy it again or get fucked, nerd.
Yeah.
Language.
Wildcard really did do that. It's kind of obnoxious, and they added so much cool shit to the new one too. So it was kind of like they double fucked them.
I mean, you know where I stand with Ark. I've never liked that goddamn game.
I know, but I gave you a spider to ride for a little bit.
That was cool.
Did you like Subnautica, Allan?
I loved Subnautica. I still can't finish it because it's one of the most challenging survival and nerve-wracking survival games I've ever played. I have yet to finish it, but I do think it's a great game.
There's some good news on that front. Krafton actually lost their lawsuit and asked to hand back creative control of Subnautica 2 to the original developers.
Really?
I didn't know it wasn't the original developers in the first place.
The original developers were offered a buyout option from I don't remember the investor, from basically the CEO of Krafton. And CEO of Krafton basically stated, I bought the studio for $500 million, and they would get a $250 million bonus if they made their sales targets. As they got closer to the sales targets, the guy basically consulted ChatGPT for a method of how to screw the people out of their payout, successfully pulled off a corporate buyout, and basically removed the old dev team to escape having to pay the $250 million fine.
Yeah.
Or I should say the payout.
Yeah, the bonus,
not only
basically.
did the judge actually reversed it yesterday. He says that not only are you contractually obligated to give them more time to meet that goal, but they're going to be having to hand back the control of the Steam account and the launch for the second game back to the original developers.
That's awesome.
Good news.
They deserve that. They did good, and they got kind of screwed really hard. I was just going to ask if there's any other games you guys have been regularly playing lately that you want to talk about.
Yeah, 4. I've been playing that pretty heavily, and then a little bit of Valheim.
I have not tried Valheim. Is it good?
So
yeah,
I'm going to steal this one from him. So Copy Stain Studios is probably one of my favorite developers. They've made Deep Rock Galactic. They made Satisfactory. Both of the games I have invested probably about 100+ hours a piece into. Satisfactory, I'm at like hour 500. And Valheim is another creation of the studio. It's a survival like Norse game. I enjoy it quite a bit. The other game I've been picking up from indie title would be Echo Point Nova, which is a movement shooter. Very much similar mechanics to Titanfall 2 for its like run and gun. But again, both of them are indie studios, incredible games.
You said one I just actually did for my Let's Play on the channel. I just beat Titanfall 2, and that game is awesome. That game is hella underrated. Needs more praise.
I used to be how do I put this? I was like one of the top 5,000 players for that game at the time. We were currently, and that's it doesn't sound like a huge subset. The game itself released between I think it was Battlefield and Call of Duty during the holiday season, and thus really suffered from the launch window.
It was Battlefield and Metal Gear Solid. I just covered this on another podcast, and that's the reason why I know that. But it was terrible for them. They got screwed by that.
It's funny that you covered them because you may not know this bit of lore, but they used the movement system from Respawn's movement system from Titanfall 2 and put it into I think was that Jedi Knight title.
Oh.
Well, they put it into the Jedi game also because that Respawn developed it. They sold their
Oh,
movement system.
the Jedi: The Fallen Order.
I believe so. It's like they play a guy named Cal, I believe.
Yeah, but that's third
Yep.
person, so that's the same movement you said.
It's the same movement mechanics, same movement engine.
Huh, that's crazy. Well, what was the game you mentioned that was Echo Point?
Echo Point Nova, made by Greylock Studios.
Okay.
Feature it's like an indie game. I think it's like $25, like at full price. Highly recommend. I probably dropped around 100 hours into it just on its first campaign playthrough. And I don't necessarily dictate quality of games based upon the amount of hours I spent in them, due to some games having grind mechanics that are just truly not enjoyable. But I would state that it's like the emergent gameplay that I got out of the system was something I was looking for within like a movement-based shooter, and it can be co-op too. So I run that game couch co-op. It's only 4 gigabytes for the whole download. It's really lightweight game.
That's cool. And it's pretty fun. Like, give me the rundown on how it plays. What does it feel like? What am I doing?
So it's not necessarily like you're like working with a hoverboard and stuff like that, as well as like a grapple system. You're on a floating island archipelago above a gas giant that you've crash landed upon. And the idea is as you go through different courses and whatnot, you have like different enemy subsets. You get like scans which give you more information about like the alien presence that's there, et cetera, et cetera. It's very I should say sparse in terms of like storytelling, but it does really well with how fluid its movement. Basically, like flying at 60 plus miles an hour with a light machine gun on a hoverboard over massive like gaps and stuff like that, and fighting mechs, and it's really hard to describe. I would
Sounds
suggest
cool.
looking into like gameplay footage would probably be the best way to like gauge whether or not that's something you enjoy. As far as like other games that I've been putting tons of time into, as I was stating with like Valheim, I've been enjoying games where there's not necessarily a push for an objective. I guess there is an objective, but it's not like you have to do imperative right now, right then,
Yeah,
in order to progress into the game.
long-term
Anyway.
goals type stuff.
hmm
That's cool. Nice. Okay. Well, I've been kind of just chipping away at my backlog some more still. So I've been playing. Honestly, I've been doing the most Prototype lately. That's been fun. The first one, I've beaten it before, so I don't know what else much to say. It's hard. That's one thing for sure. It's a very hard game, I feel like.
I enjoyed Prototype.
It feels early PS3. That's what makes it hard. Like, they didn't quite get how to do all of the things they were trying to do, so some aspects got really difficult, But it still holds up really well today. It's still fun to play. And yeah, that's about it. Yakuza, just chipping away at that still.
I haven't played any of the Yakuza entries, but I hear very good things.
I just started it. So I'm doing Yakuza 0, and I want to go through just the mainline ones. If I'm still itching for it after that, maybe I'll do other ones, but these games are incredibly massive. They just have everything you can do. Like, I've been to batting cages, bowling alleys. I've gone to they have multiple restaurants you can go eat at and try. So many mini games, the claw machine, arcade games. But that's just the side stuff. And then the side stories are just ridiculous, over the top, and just usually funny. They're usually trying to be like kind of satire in some manner. But then the main story is like really intense and serious and about Yakuza gang life. And it's just, it weirdly all works together all at once, and you get a lot of stuff. But the game takes forever if you're someone who, like me, who likes to just try to do it all, at least a little bit. And it's ridiculous. Just keeps going. So I don't know if I'm going to do past just the mainline games.
But that makes sense. I would say that perhaps this is just like my lens upon it as a consumer here in the United States for these games. But it's like I've noticed that typically like JRPGs, while over the top, have quite a bit of, if it's in the game, for example, like you said with the batting cages, if it's in the game as coded as like a background piece, oftentimes there's even the mini game that's programmed alongside of it.
Yes. Or
which
side
you
missions
have
that
to do.
revolve around it.
The first iteration I noticed that within a Western game was the Black Ops, when you're like the scene, the opening scene, or I should say the the menu for when you go into the game, like where they're questioning Mason about that stuff. If you didn't know this, you can actually break your restraints, turn around, and go to the computer terminal. And on that computer terminal is one of the first JRPGs, well, it's not JRPGs, one of the first text-based role-playing games ever made. I believe it was Zorg. But yeah, it's back in like the 80s. They had these like text-based games that were encoded into this stuff.
That's funny. Yeah, I do actually remember that when Black Ops came out and being in high school and how much of a big deal that was, and then going home and trying it and, you know, basically just button mashing to get out of the chair. That game, that menu is still so memorable to me. That's like one of my favorite video game menus ever. I think they just nailed it on that.
I would speculate that it's like as we got at a certain point when we got into the gaming industry that it's like we started focusing on, I should say, like technical feats such as like, oh hey, we can run Crisis at this, you know, at this level, or we can run this game at 4K 144 frames per second, when we repeatedly have indie titles remind us that you do not have to have a AAA title or a AAA system in order to enjoy a game for many hours.
Absolutely.
Good example of that is Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that one surprised me how much I actually ended up liking Stardew Valley. The fact that you had, like, I don't know, the whole mining system where you go and fought monsters and everything. That was smart.
Mm-hmm. And it caught to a lot of wider audience than just the farm simulation games.
Yeah.
What I would state is that we're going to be seeing more of in the future would be indie titles, because as RAM gets more expensive with the closure of Micron, we are going to be seeing not only an increasing price cap or a barrier to entry for these games. So us getting into the PC market when we did was very beneficial. One of my RAM sticks cost more than my entire rig did when I first bought it now. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
With that in mind, though, is that I would postulate that we're going to be seeing more lightweight games that have less requirements on those systems, so that way they're more accessible. The axiom goes that if it's not affordable or accessible, it's not revolutionary. Great example of that would be Minecraft. Very, very accessible. Same with old school RuneScape. Those games being played on very bare bones systems the world over, and as such, they are.
Yeah, that's fair. Literally, the other guy that we use on the podcast, his name's Lorenzo, and he loves it. He loves Stardew Valley. But yeah, nice. Heck yeah. Any other games you guys kind of want to mention that you've been playing lately or anything, or should we go into the main topic?
I'm done with the main topic. Let's get into the meat of the issue.
Deal. So I've been wanting to do a Game of the Year retrospective with Allan for a while, and I'm glad that Sam's here to join us for this one. I decided to choose a year that we could all kind of relate to together, and that is the year that we graduated, 2011. So do you guys want to take a guess on what game won Game of the Year in 2011? I haven't told them any of this information yet.
Ooh,
I'm gonna guess it's some bullshit like Call of Duty.
I would speculate a Call of Duty. This is a very broad suggestion, but either Call of Duty, like Allan said, or a Bungie title like Reach or something like that.
Okay, I'm going to narrow it down to say that, Allan, you would actually you like this game. I'll say that.
Oh, I like this game. Okay.
Like this game.
Is it World of War?
2011. Okay, hold on.
Oh, that's earlier than that. 2011. That's right. And I'm not using Google to cheat.
Can you give me a genre?
It's
That's
fantasy.
going back a long ways for me. Fantasy. Oh, Skyrim.
It's Skyrim. Skyrim won in
No
2011.
shit. That makes sense. I thought it launched earlier.
You know what's funny is
Yeah,
I didn't play
too.
it
I
till
thought it was like 2009.
Well, I didn't play it till I was in the dorms at college, which was in 2012. So to me, I was like, really? This came out then? Huh? But yeah, Skyrim won. I'm assuming we've all played it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've beat it once, and I dabbled in it in VR.
I've only ever beaten it in VR. I dabbled in it in every other way.
So, real quick question, Sid, what is the rating for your listeners on this? Is this like for listeners above the age of 18, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'd say this is not safe for kids.
Okay, so I would talk about my experience with VR Skyrim the first time. As bare bones as it is, it impressed upon me quite a lot, because I took it or I should say, played it when I dropped a couple tabs of acid with Allan back in the day.
Yep, I remember this.
And we had like a studio headset that we had hooked into it, so the audio was immersive. And at the time, it's like even the VR graphics were again bare bones. It was still really cool and experience just like sitting down next to river runs like river, and just looking at the graphics, the water running by, a dragon in the distance.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it
I
was an
agree.
experience on LSD for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, even when the game originally came out in 2011, it was still really pretty to look at. I remember thinking that game was absolutely stunning. That just made me want to go into the world. I remember hating the combat even then, but wanting to know more about the game because of it. And VR fixed the combat for me when they released that.
The anniversary edition, whatever the hell they call it now, the one that's like you can mod it, kind of like what they did with Fallout.
Oh yeah,
that edition, I think it still holds up pretty well today. I mean, obviously the character models, they were never groundbreaking to begin with, but like as far as the environment, the game itself, it still looks cool. Like it maintained its art style well.
Yeah, and that music, everyone can hear that music in their heads permanently.
Oh,
yep.
I think the only one that's more like noticeable would be Halo 3's music. That's probably only yeah.
That's so true. Well, I know it's a long time ago, but do you guys think, based on knowing that it was Skyrim that won, do you remember any other games potentially that you would think maybe would beat that one for yourself?
Not 2011. That's too far back for me. I can't remember what I was playing at that time.
So at the time, I was still pretty heavily playing the Modern Warfare 2 initial release. It was closer towards the end for sure. When you were seeing hackers with modified names and stuff like that pop into consoles, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I loved Modern Warfare 2. I played that one for a long time. I think I was still too, to be honest. Even when they got like Modern Warfare 3 and everything, I was still going back, and I still actually have it. I tested it on the PS3. The servers are still up, and the hackers are still there.
And okay, you're gonna laugh at me on this one. I think 2011, I was still pretty heavily playing World of Warcraft.
That's okay. I got into that late. That's a whole nother thing.
It's okay, man.
That could be a whole nother episode, to be honest.
I would say that it's like it almost made me a lifer. Like dopamine hits of that game. I'm glad I avoided it.
Well, I'll say that the other most popular game, like the ones that people debate on, it should have been Game of the Year, is one that I haven't actually played myself, and that's Portal 2.
Oh, I'm surprised that one didn't. Was it a nomination? Was it a nominee at least, or was it just?
I believe it was, but I didn't actually do that research. I'm sorry. I just know it came out, and that was kind of like people really wanted that one to win.
I never played the Portals.
Yeah, me neither. I hear good things, and Portal 2 you can play co-op, so maybe I can do that with my wife sometime because we like to do those kind of games. Well, another game that is really popular that I didn't play. I'm not a fan of this type or even this console typically, but Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword also came out that year. I don't know if anyone.
I haven't played that one either. I know.
Yeah,
here I am on a gaming review channel. I'm just like, I haven't played half of these games.
Well, to be fair, I'm trying to get the ones that I don't think any of us have played out of the way. You know?
I'm pretty picky, so it's
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff I just never.
So never right in the middle there, Derek.
I've only broadened like recently in the last 5 to 10 years.
Well, the only other one that I also haven't really played that much of is Deus Ex Human Revolution. Also came out that year.
I am curious about playing that game. I definitely heard some mixed things about the lore and whatnot, but either way, it's I'd be curious. Transhumanism is something I enjoy as a topic.
I agree. I have Mankind Divided, and I want to check that one out, but I know Human Revolution I think is the one prior to that, so I don't know. Should probably check that one out first. With that out of the way, I can at least have something to say about the rest of them coming up, so it's not so annoying, But another game that came out that year was Rage. I don't know if you guys ever played that. I think Allan said he has.
Yeah, I've that was 2011, really?
Yeah.
See, I like that one. I wanted to play that one back then, but the problem that I was having was the PS3 edition specifically. And it doesn't matter what PS3 you have, the pop-in textures is abhorrent, like the whole time, like the
I would
whole
agree with
game.
that.
It's something that you have to just get past if you want to play it on PS3. I couldn't do it at the time because at the time I remember playing things like I don't remember what year this came out. It might have been too early for this one, but I think I was playing one of the God of Wars, and graphically back then it was intense, and I just couldn't excuse it. But I rebought it for like $10 on the PC version, and that one runs flawlessly. So if I'm gonna finish that game, it's gonna be on the PC. But yeah, that one's cool. I like its sequel too. I know we've talked about it already.
The sequel is really good.
Sorry, which one did I just chime in on this one? God of War, you said?
Rage.
Oh, Rage. No, I haven't actually never played the series. Would you recommend?
I would, and like Allan was just saying, do the PC version for the first one. I did actually play it on PS3 back when it first came out, and the pop-in textures, I do remember to this day, were very bad. But I could get past it. I just didn't care, I guess. I don't know. I was just like, let's go shoot the motherfuckers. What really hooked me was the boomerang that was like I don't know, razor blade, And you could just
That's
chop
very
people's
Mad
heads off.
Max, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like Doom mixed with Mad Max. That's how I would describe the Rage games.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really what they
software.
are.
So the combat's good too. Like the shooting's good, even for how old it is. I would recommend it. Now I don't think it's better than Skyrim by any means, though. I still think it's on the lower tier end.
I think it would depend what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one or the other, I don't know that I would still choose Skyrim, if I'm honest. I don't know. I guess it would depend on my mood.
Ooh, well, just remember, you got Rage here for when we do our end results. Another one that came out in 2011. I don't know if you guys played this. Mostly Sam, I just don't know if you did. I know Allan hasn't played this one, but Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Is that the one based in Italy with Ezio?
It's the third one, yeah, for Ezio. And I honestly, anything Ezio related, that was my era of my favorite Assassin's Creeds. They were my favorite.
I did not. I did not actually. I only think I got into Assassin's Creed. I think I'm pretty sure it was Odyssey came out. Yeah, Odyssey came out before Origins. No, Origins came out before Odyssey.
Yeah, Origins came out
what I
first.
got into.
I loved Origins too. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan.
Great.
I actually have a hardback game guide to give one of y'all for Origins. It's one of the official ones with all of the concept art in it.
Well, fuck yeah. If Allan doesn't want it, I'll take it.
I would love it just because I like new Assassin's Creeds. And when I say the new ones, specifically Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, I do play those.
Have you tried Mirage or anything? The other new ones? I haven't myself. That's why I'm asking.
No, I haven't. But that's because like those 3 games alone, I could spend the next 3-4 years playing. They're just such big games.
Absolutely.
Like I said, my backlog is just it's not going to happen.
Well, also,
not gonna happen.
to be fair, it's like trying games, and this is ultimately why I'd say like a games review podcast are such a market, or even if they are not a market, it's kind of speaking here, but I would state that that's the reason why they're so popular is because like games are now $70 plus. Just spoke with Allan about this last night, ironically, about Battlefield 6. It's $70 for the new title, and there's not much in the game. And then there's a $30 season pass for it, which
it's not that there's not much in the game. The issue that I had with Battlefield 6 is they advertised it as a return to form, as a hey, we're done fucking around. We're for reals now. Sorry guys. And like, hey, destruction's back. Everything you like about Battlefield is back. No, it's like it feels like an imposter. It feels like a game trying to cosplay as a Battlefield game, and then they pull the bait and switch, where they're like, haha, hey, this old model that is starting to lose popularity is what we're gonna go with. We're trying to make it a what is that shit called?
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. There you go. Yeah, with RedSec and all this stuff that nobody asked for.
Well,
the maps are small. Like, it's just weird. I'm just like, why didn't you could have gone any other way with this game and it would have been fantastic, and you went again. Y'all done fucked it up.
And I can answer this, by the way. I can answer why they chose this. I've actually spoken with Allan about this previously. So back around I should say about 6 to 8 months before Battlefield 6 was announced, even as a beta, EA was getting basically scouted by the Saudi royal family as an asset, if you didn't know. And why I would say that the campaign kind of feels empty or lacking within Battlefield 6 is directly related to EA having used the Middle East, or generally the one Saudi Arabia movement as its, like, what was it, the protagonist or the antagonist? I forget exactly. But at the time when it was, being released and being scouted, they were being looked at the royal family for being purchased. Later on, they were purchased. The royal family also has purchased many esports teams globally. If you didn't know, they are trying to make Saudi Arabia basically the pinnacle of esports. For lack of better words, that's their goal. And with Battle Royale coming out of Battlefield 6, that's not surprising, being that it is a Saudi royal asset.
Damn, okay. That's interesting. So it's just politics ruining our games again. What a surprise.
Inshitification comes for us all, I'm afraid.
One thing I do want to mention about Battlefield 6 is yesterday there was a massive update. I mean, there was like 10 different files that got added, and a lot of it was multiplayer, and some of it was campaign too. So I'm wondering if it's, because I remember when 2042 came out, everybody hated it, and it was the worst game ever. I mean, it took a long time, but 2-3 years later, it's not great, but it's fun. If you can get it for like $15, it's a good time. It's also the first Battlefield to add bots, which I really appreciate. It gives the games longevity. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yeah.
Especially ones that.
But again, that's another gripe I have with Battlefield games. They add something really cool, and then the next entry, they just take it away. Battlefield 6 does not have bots. So I don't know if it's any better now. I don't know if they've added, hey, guys, here's some big maps now, and here's all the things people are complaining about. I don't know. It's not to say they won't do it in the future, but it's just like these last few Battlefield titles, it feels like the rug is being pulled out from under you every time. Like, this is probably the last Battlefield I'm going to buy. I think I'm done, because since Battlefield 5, I haven't really had a good time with a Battlefield game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not like I used to.
Yeah.
Huh. I'd wager back Battlefield 1 was the last time I had a great time with it.
Battlefield 5 was fun with a friend. I liked what they added to it. I missed the World War II thing, even though it was like weird World War II. It was still cool. I get sick of all the modern LED everything. It just bores me. But that was the last one where I would sit there and sink hours into it.
Yeah. So to parrot that, it's like I'm not really happy about games releasing in alpha state and expecting me to pay full price for them. Don't worry, guys. It'll eventually be good.
Yeah. Give it 2-3 years, and then it'll be the game you wanted in the first goddamn place.
Yeah. Give us enough money, and we might finish it. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just, come on.
That's my hype. That's my thing I noticed. Like, that's when I really noticed, like, the inshitification of video gaming, especially like online games, was Destiny. Again, more speculation on my part, but it's speculated that the original writer for the Destiny story had set it up to where the Traveler was going to be basically a doomsday engine that was lowering humanity in a false sense of security. He got canned. They retconned a whole bunch of story, and that's why the campaign released in kind of a pitiful state.
Damn,
and it stayed in a pitiful state.
I've heard bad things. I haven't actually played too much Destiny. I'm not too much on the online as much as I'm more single player. So I haven't played that much, but I heard that it was doing great, and then they kind of just killed it with story. And with the fact that they would take away old DLCs, it sounded like. I heard something about that too.
Not only that, my friend, but they also gatekept they released a version of Microsoft platform for Xbox at the time, but they released it under basically an IP lock, for lack of better words. Sony owned 100% of the story. Microsoft was and its purchasers were only allowed to get 50% of the story. So many of the raids, many of the dungeons, you literally just could not play because Microsoft did not own the intellectual property rights to those pieces. Not even kidding.
Wow. Damn. Well,
anyway,
moving on though. We got 5 games left that I want to talk about for 2011. Getting down to it. I'm gonna try to knock off some more that I'm actually not necessarily sure how you guys feel about these ones. So, Uncharted 3, that also came out this year. I liked the Uncharted series, but I'm always been more of a Tomb Raider myself, and that's kind of been my perspective on it.
Same. Yeah, that one was overrated. I think of the 3, I think I liked that one the most. because I've actually played. Shockingly, I've played the Uncharted series, except for I haven't played a Thief's End or any of the spin-offs that came from that one. But I played the original 3. It's not a bad game. I dig it, but it's for me, it feels very like Hollywood Saturday night popcorn, kind of flick. It's just very Michael Bay, which is fine, but that shit kind of bores me.
Yeah.
I agree with you that I think Tomb Raider did it better.
Mm-hmm.
At least these more recent ones that came out.
I agree. Sam, have you played the Uncharted series at all?
I've only played a brief amount of the Uncharted series. I haven't played any of the Tomb Raider series, so I'm not qualified to speak on it. But I could see what Alan's saying about it kind of coming off as it being superbly over the top. You know what I mean? The replayability for Uncharted, I don't know if it was there because it's like once you have that shtick happen, you can only see it so many times before it bores you.
I'd say it's equivalent to watching an action movie and then wanting to watch it again in a couple of years, just for funsies. But what's going to happen either way. But you are right. It feels like playing Indiana Jones to me. And I know there's a lot of people who love Uncharted, but it's just not necessarily my favorite either.
It's a good cup of tea, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. The other one that I'm not sure how you guys feel about is Infamous 2 came out this year.
That was actually pretty cool. I dug that one. I never finished it. I liked so that was, I think, what ruined part of what ruined you were just talking about it. Jesus Christ, what's the name of that game? The one where you transform and do all kinds of crazy shit and you prototype. That's the one. It ruined Prototype for me because the climbing in Infamous to me is way better. It's more realistic. It's more grounded. And Prototype is just kind of ridiculous. And I don't know. At the time, I remember that annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, I could see it. Well, it's ridiculous, and like I said earlier, it's hard to do. Because it was such an early life cycle game, and they didn't quite iron out how it felt. They just threw a bunch of really cool ideas, like running up a wall really fast. But then when you're doing it, it's hard to do missions because he doesn't stop well, he doesn't turn well, he doesn't.
Yep. Hey, I couldn't finish that game. I tried. I was playing on quote unquote easy, and there were times where I'm getting shot with missiles and helicopters and all kinds of shit. I'm like, dude, how do you even? I can't even move the character. I'm just getting blasted from all angles.
Yeah, game's hard.
It goes from being movement based to being okay, now I'm having to do crowd control because everyone and their fucking mother showed up.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and they will too.
I hear the second one's better. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard the second one's better.
I haven't tried it yet myself. It is on my backlog, so when I get to it, I'll kind of let you know what my opinion is on it when that happens.
I still own them for some reason, but I never finished them.
I don't blame you. They're fun. They're fun little dick around games, even if you don't ever finish them. You just hop in and kill some stuff and run out.
I think that's what it was that I liked was you in the very beginning where you have all your powers, right? And it kind of gives you hey, this is what you can become,
Yeah.
And I liked what you could do. I liked how you can grab people, fling them, it made me feel very G. Birkin, you know what I mean?
G. Birkin, yeah.
Yeah, a bioweapon on the loose. That was cool. I liked that.
That's a good way to describe it. Eileen was asking me about what I was yesterday when she was watching me, and I was like, I'm a disease. I'm not quite sure, but bioweapon. That's basically what I was. Yeah. I was just a bioweapon.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're in the meat and potatoes. These are the final 3. I think if anything's going to knock off Skyrim from your Game of the Year list, it's going to be one of these 3. So, is there anything I've mentioned so far that you think has already knocked it off?
No, I can see why Skyrim. So far, I'm that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the level of enjoyment I got out of Skyrim, it's I can't, especially compared to other games at the time that were offered to me. Skyrim did its job well.
So yeah, it did. It was novel.
It's been re-released 400 million times for a reason,
Yep. It felt novel at the time.
Yeah. Well, the next one, in my opinion, kind of third place in this situation is Batman Arkham City.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I can see why that would be on there.
Yeah. And that one's good. I think out of the 3, Arkham City is probably my favorite when it comes to Arkham Asylum, City, and Night.
Its combat system was very competent.
Yeah. It was just
it's funny because I've played all of them. I've only finished one of them, but I've played all of them. And I've only finished Arkham Knight. I really liked that one. That one I couldn't put down. That one just grabbed me. And I've played Origins, and everybody hates Origins, but I'm like, I don't get why. Like that shit was, from what I remember, this is going back a ways. I dug that one too. I'm having a hard time getting through the first two, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I've just
Really?
like, they're cool, but I get bored after like an hour or two.
That's fair. They don't have that city aspect. You like being Batman in the city, it sounds like. You don't want to be like confined somewhere.
I think so. I think I just started a little too late, and I got spoiled with how good Arkham Knight looks and how it plays and all that.
It looks pretty.
Plus, that spoilers, that whole sequence with the fear gas, the fear toxin, that blew my mind. That was like one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in the game. I was not expecting it.
Yeah. A cop killing a bunch of people at a cafe. Is that the one you're talking about?
Just when the city becomes inundated with fear gas, like the whole map changes, and like that's the game now. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was really cool. I really liked that the Joker is still talking to you, even though he's been long dead and cremated. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So I think I played the game too late, and then
You're
I
kind of
went back
convincing me that Knight's my favorite now, to be honest. You've been slowly reminding me of all the shit.
I really dug Knight. I liked, and you can wear the Christian Bale Batman skin. I liked that. There was like some Tumblr missions. I'm getting through. I'm a good ways through Asylum. I think I'm like 3/4 of the way through that one. It's good. Like, I don't dislike these games. They're just, I think I took too long to get to them.
Yeah. You think it would be better than Skyrim for you? You're not Arkham City, at least. Not that one wouldn't be. You would still pick
that's
Skyrim.
the one I played the least, because I knew there were others that I should probably play before that one. And I'm trying to go through them chronologically from like how they released.
Yeah. You can see the growth yourself.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you? Have you played City?
I have not played City, no.
No.
So I got into the Batman trilogy, I should say, like pretty late in the game. I think the second game had released by that time. But Arkham Knight was, I had someone liken basically the combat system like a very well polished machine, and I have to agree with him on that. As you were saying earlier, there's some games where it's like they release mechanics where it's just like they are groundbreaking in their own right, but they seem to be like missing bits and pieces here. Whereas the combat system for all of the Batman games has been extraordinarily competent, tight, and responsive.
Yeah. Really a trendsetter for like video game superheroes too, to be honest. The Batman series was like the first one that was finally good. They finally did it. It wasn't shit.
Can I say something controversial here?
Yeah, do it.
So I like Batman. I'm not really a superhero guy. I don't care about Marvel, DC, all that shit. Really, it just bores me. But Batman being one of the exceptions, I really dig Batman. But having said that, as far as like hand-to-hand melee combat, which is how that game is, I do think that Mad Max did it better.
I was about to say, like, this is gonna be a Mad Max entry.
I do love me some Mad Max.
It felt brutal. It was crunchier. It felt more grounded. Like, if I could take the combat from Mad Max and put it in the Batman games, I'd 100% be like, no, fuck Skyrim. Like,
you also enjoyed the gunplay of Max Payne too.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I agree that I think for me too, Skyrim is better than Arkham City still. I think it's still up in that top rank. The next game, though, I think beats it for me at least. And we still have 2 left. It's not even just that. But the next one I want to talk about is Killzone 3.
Oh, shit. Fuck, I didn't know that came out in 2011.
Killzone 3. We've already done a whole Killfest. That's actually the #1 video we still have on the channel, Alan, is Killfest for the holidays.
That's crazy.
Where we talk about Killzone and our passionate love for it.
Yep. That shit changed my life forever.
I still think I like 2 more, but I love 3.
Yes, I feel the same. I think 2 is a masterpiece. You can tell that Killzone 3 didn't have as long of a development cycle, and that was its biggest. Not enough play testing.
Yeah.
And they took some story beats where they tried to please certain people, which is always a mistake. Go with what you're going to go with. Fuck the fans, is what I say. Because we don't know what we want. We'll bitch about anything. Like that's just what we
That's
do.
so fair.
Damn, Killzone 3.
Is that better than Skyrim for you?
If I had to choose, like, okay, you can either play this game or this game and not the other ever again, dude, I'm gonna have to go Killzone 3. There's just
Yeah.
You guys
I
quoted
wouldn't
this
be able
game in
to.
school, by the way.
Oh yeah, I
No,
still do.
You would.
I still to this day quote Visari and your Handstall and Orlok and all the fucking all.
Will you bless us with the speech? Will you do it?
No, I'm not doing that. No,
Do it.
No. I could, but I won't.
Come on, we're the sons and daughters that you've been waiting for.
The people have what you crave, Alan.
You finally
Another
get an
time.
audience to do your speech to.
Yeah, but I can't do it on the spot like this.
Okay. All right. Maybe it'll
Soon.
be your little ending quote, you know? Maybe that's what we'll do.
Maybe.
Okay. So, like I said, this is for me. I love Killzone 3. Everything Alan said, absolutely 100%. Killzone 3 is fun. I still go back to it. I actually brought it up to our bachelor party for a friend, and Alan was playing that occasionally when we had downtime. It's just fun. It's a good time. They got bots, like Alan said. That's longevity to the game. You can literally play this forever if you want. But there is one more that came out this year that I do think I like more than Killzone 3. And it got you on the edge of your seat, Alan? Are you curious?
Yeah. Can you spit it out?
It's Dead Space 2.
Oh.
Oh. Fuck.
Dead Space 2.
This is tough. I didn't think this was going to be this difficult.
I knew this was going to be a good one. This year was a banger of a year.
Damn, what a good year for games. Holy shit.
Right? Holy crap. Now, I will say I think Killzone 3 is better than Skyrim for me, and as well as Dead Space 2 is even better than Killzone 3 to me. I loved Dead Space 2.
So Dead Space 2, then they have the "Your mom's gonna hate this" video game where they had like the old women crying during the ad commercials. It's just like, who would ever play this game?
And they put these poor little old grandmas watching the most brutal fucking game.
I don't remember this. I must have missed that.
It was some funny ass commercials. Yeah. So
this
funny.
is a good way to segue into one of the greatest modern travesties in gaming, in my opinion. So, Derek, I don't know if you finished it yet, but you've played the Dead Space remake.
Yes, I finished it.
Okay. All right. How do you think it compares to the original? Just like a quick rundown.
It is really pretty. It's really fun. It's nice to go back and replay the first one. I like they brought those quality of life from the second and third game into the first one, which is nice too. But there's something about it that feels a little bit either rushed or soulless. Like they had the template, but they didn't have the passion, if that makes sense.
Okay. So I have very few gripes with the remake. I usually despise remakes because they don't ever do it right, in my opinion. But I do have a few, and I do think that they affect the game enough where the original is still better. So when Isaac's rig is red, right? In the original, he would pant and his breathing would become labored and he would stumble around. Like his movement was all fucked up. That's not a thing in the remake. How in the fuck are you going to miss something like that?
Yeah.
Two, some of the voice actors, I think they went with the wrong cast. I forgot his name, but the guy who builds the regenerator.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his
That
name either.
dude.
I just played this.
In the original, it's some foreign guy with a really thick accent.
I remember that.
But you can hear he sounds like a zealot. I've talked to zealots. They sound like that guy, that desperate kind of. I don't know how to put it, but there's a sick desperation in their voice. That got lost in the remake. They went with some well-to-do guy, and he just sounds. It's just weird.
Yeah.
And then there are glitches in the remake that were not present in the original. Really bad ones. Now, having said that, I still think that it was a good enough remake and a good enough game, and it sold, I think, 3 million copies. But that wasn't enough for EA. They were like, no, that's not enough money. Fuck you. They were teasing. I don't know if you caught it, but if you go to New Game Plus, there's some document in the shuttle after you crash into the Ishimura. There's a document there that describes Titan Station.
Oh, really?
which is the place. Which is the place you're at in Dead Space 2. So
Yeah.
there was some other shit where they were teasing the Titan Station in Dead Space 2. So they were setting it up to remake the second one. Now tell me that you still wouldn't want a fucking Dead Space 2 remake
I
in the
would
same
love
vein as
it.
the original. That would have been fucking great, right? The apartment section, not gonna happen because EA didn't make enough fucking money.
I will say honestly, and this might be, I might take this back later. I hope not, but I don't know. I think Dead Space 2 is my favorite of the three. Dead Space 1's a close second, but I think Dead Space 2 is my favorite. I loved this game, especially when it first came out. It had online. I don't know if you guys remember that, where you
I
could
do
play.
remember that. Yeah,
Oh, I got to play as a necromorph, and I loved being the little babies or whatever, and
yeah,
climbing
that
up
was
the
cool.
walls.
I do remember that. That shit was
So
tight.
much fun. I played that for so long.
Dead Space 2 is a good mix of both horror and action. They toe that line very well. Like, there are parts where it's genuinely like, dude, I don't want to do this shit, and other parts where it's just like balls to the wall, really cool.
Yeah.
The setting was really cool. The story was decent. It was a great sequel. It was a fantastic sequel.
I agree. I loved that.
Even
game.
the section where they retread the Ishimura. Normally, I hate when they do that in games. The Q in Evil Within, when they were retreading all the shit from the first game, I can do without that stuff. They did it well in Dead Space 2.
They did. It looked like they were really. I don't know. I agree because it was all tarped up, and it looked like they were trying to look at it. And I don't know. That was cool. Really good game. Sam, did you ever play Dead Space?
I did. I played Dead Space 1 and 2 and a bit of 3.
Okay. How'd you feel about it?
So, notwithstanding the new remake that Alan covered, I would state that like Dead Space 2, I don't know, it really, for me, like lore wise, it really solidified like the Fermi paradox of like, if there's intelligent life out there, it's like, where is it? That kind of thing. Having not seen signs of it, and seeing kind of like how it like led into, I guess, like 3 is set up like way in the future, right? With that said, I don't know. I still have like, I guess, kind of like almost nightmares about like the necromorphs and the
Yeah.
piecing system where it's like you just landing body shots and it doing nothing.
Yeah.
I appreciated how like the gameplay mechanics worked. I appreciated how memorable it all is, and I would say that I guess like the answer of all intelligent life has been consumed by this predatory species, this hyper apex predator. Um, I don't know. I really enjoy dark science fiction themes, and that was right up my alley.
Yeah. And honestly, space is the scariest setting to me every time. So that's also added to that for me. Like if we could physically go to space, I wouldn't go. I would die here. I'm too afraid of space, I think. So Dead Space is
Cosmic horror is one of my favorite subgenres of horror. I have yet to play a cosmic horror title that I didn't absolutely adore. Dead Space, Prey, even the System Shock remake. There's another one I'm missing. They're all fantastic. Cosmic horror, there's just something about it. It's just like you can't go wrong with cosmic horror.
Yeah. What was that one you told me to play? Soma?
Soma, no, that one's not cosmic horror. That's psychological.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
That one's deep set in the ocean. It's like Soma's like if you had put me in charge of making BioShock. That's what would have come out.
I'd wager. Oh no, I'd wager that that Subnautica is almost cosmic horror in its own way.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that. I could see that. It'd be hard to convince people though, just because you're in the ocean the whole time.
Yeah. Like people would automatically dismiss it because of that fact.
But I get why because it definitely has that element of aliens and all that type of shit.
Well, I guess that the thing with like cosmic horror, also the theme of isolation is really prevalent in many of them. Like you're the only one experiencing this insanity, or you're totally isolated. There's no one else that can come to save you, even if.
Thank you. Alien Isolation is another one. Thank you. Holy shit, that's the one I was missing. Alien Isolation. Jesus Christ, that's such a good game.
I still need to play it. It's on my backlog. I might even stream that one next.
It's a masterpiece.
When I do streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think that might be the next game. Because I feel like it'd be fun to watch me freak out while playing that shit.
I still quote the Working Joes regularly.
Well, I'm excited to get into it then. I remember barely getting into it and thinking it was fucking terrifying. So I'm excited to retry it and get kind of back into it.
As a huge fan of the first Alien movie, they nailed the atmosphere and the tone and the look to a T. I mean,
They really did.
They definitely did their research. They took their notes.
That's thank for the beautiful segue there, Alan. That's my biggest gripe with gaming journalism actually began with Alien Isolation. If you didn't know, Game Informer, I believe, gave it I think it was like a 6.7 out of 10.
That was IGN.
That was IGN? Okay.
IGN is the reason that I know what you're about to get into. Go ahead.
Yeah, so IGN basically, they had a guy that played it for 20 minutes, said that he didn't like it, thought it was too hard, for lack of better words, and poo-pooed the whole game system. The whole director of like how the alien can track where you. There's like there's 3 directors, is it, Alan, in the game?
2.
Like there's one, oh, there's 2, yeah, there's 2. One where that knows where you are at all times, but has to communicate through another, another AI. Yeah,
it was really sophisticated.
Really,
I remember that. Very sophisticated AI system.
It's a smart way to set that up so it doesn't take too much resources, but it still gets the same sensation of being hunted really intently.
It also remembers where you hide. If it finds you and it kills you, it makes note of that.
Oh shit!
Like this guy likes to hide in lockers. Like it takes note of that.
It also picked up on the background mic on your controller, so like really good.
Oh yeah, I had to turn that shit off because I had to turn that shit off.
That's funny. So,
but yeah,
I could get fucked with by my dog barking or something.
Yeah, I'd be talking to my ex, and then I'd be just casually, and then the thing would just burst out of nowhere and rip me apart.
I think there's like a Vine, almost not a Vine, like that's how old I am. There's like a short clip somewhere of a dude like farting and his fucking mic picking it up on his controller, and it just basically getting ripped to shreds because of it.
Yep.
That's so funny. Oh damn.
But yeah, IGN ended up derailing or otherwise wrecking the future, aspects of another Alien game along that same vein. So we haven't had another one like it from the same studio.
Yeah. Terrible.
One of the earlier examples about kind of what we were talking about before, where negativity can really impact a game's perception. Like it can be a fantastic game, but if the right people say the wrong shit about it, it just gets smashed into the ground because nobody can think for themselves.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, no matter how perfect your game is, there's still an element of luck to become successful, I think.
100%.
Even as a AAA developer.
And I feel that's like actually what happened with No Man's Sky. It's like that man, like, say which one about that guy, like selling it on like the hype and whatnot, but it's like at some point, it's just like him and like a few devs against thousands of people saying there'll be alien races and then there'll be like sentient AI and blah, blah, blah. Like other people adding the features that the devs themselves haven't announced.
Yeah.
And then later on, the game just recently beat its mixed reviews. It's now actually mostly positive. I think it's 12 years after its release.
I love No Man's Sky. I loved it when it first came out. Yeah, it was a little bit repetitive and kind of boring, but I loved just it was relaxing and peaceful in its own way.
I never played it.
It's one of those games where if it goes on sale, it's like worth like throwing $10 at it and spending like 20 to 30 hours and being like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then
Dude, right now all I want to play is Resident Evil 9, man. Like how that's just like.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing that up to you. I swear to God, I just got to find my day off.
No, you're good, man. You're good. No rush, no hurry.
But
is it a physical game?
I do have a physical.
Ooh,
that's all I do.
Scandalous, Derek.
Same, yeah, that's it. I'm never doing digital again. Fuck all. That's the only reason I haven't bought the Dying Light the Beast. I've heard really good things about it, but it's digital only. Go fuck yourself.
I agree.
If you guys are listening, go fuck yourselves. Give me a CD or I'm not doing shit. Even if I know it's just a key, I know it's just a verification system, it's still the physical key. So if your shit ass servers go down, I can still play the goddamn game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What's that? Thank you for getting into the meat and the potatoes of this. Have you heard of the Stop Killing Games initiative, Derek?
Yes, yeah. I haven't covered it on the channel though. If you want to talk about it, because I don't have like all the details in front of me.
So I don't either. So I'm going to paraphrase, and if your viewers disagree, it's like feel free to rip me apart in the comments. It's fine. But with that, the idea is that some of the arguments that they've made is like, hey, I want a game that will survive after the server's been taken offline, so I'm not just like buying a license to it. If I want to basically have a game and I possess it, it's like if I own the game, I should be able to make mods to it and other things like that as well. It's lots of there's lots of arguments about like the right to ownership and some flavors with like right to repair within it.
Yeah.
Josh Strife Hayes actually has covered this quite extensively on his content and his channel. You can check him out if you ever get the chance. But I think there's a gentleman by the name of Pirate Software that ended up like really just destroying his entire career because he kept saying it's like, oh, these guys don't know what they fucking want. As a games dev, it's like, we
I
need to
watched
have these
that,
consistent
yeah.
services, and that guy ruined his entire career.
Yeah, people started
pause
diving
real
into
quick.
like everything
Follow
and then
me.
realized he was a fraud basically because of that whole situation.
I worked at Blizzard as a dev. It's like, yes, we've heard this, friend.
Sam, follow me.
he-
Help me fight these spiders real quick.
Yeah,
Oh,
kill those
shit, okay.
spiders. Kill those Conan spiders. Well, guys, I will start we are about that hour mark. We kind of timed that perfectly. What do you guys think? What would be your game of the year for 2011? Alan, you want to go first?
See, that's a tough one.
Skyrim,
because
Killzone 3, Dead Space 2.
it's definitely between those three for me.
I'm gonna say Skyrim. It
We got a
changed.
Skyrim.
It changed a lot of what. Basically, it changed pretty much like what a lot of like gaming entailed, and it releases again and again. We have
True.
many open world games based like that are pretty much constructed the same way.
I'm sure
That's my
there are
spiel.
going to be a lot of our viewers eventually who think it should be Skyrim. I'm sure that's going to be a majority answer, honestly, I think. What about you, Alan?
Grab this coal. It's tough for me because Killzone 3, obviously, like it was a whirlwind for me. It was one of those. It was like one of the highlights of that year for me was Killzone 3. I loved that game. I played the shit out of it. My eyes were red. I played that damn game so much. But Dead Space 2 was so. It felt so novel. I remember playing a demo for it on the PS3. I woke up randomly in the middle of the night. I was like, oh shit, this thing downloaded. So I ended up playing it at like 2 a.m., which was the perfect time to play it. And I remember being so fucking pumped for it to come out. And when it finally did come out, it did not disappoint, even in the slightest. I mean, I don't think I put it down. I think I got off of school and I played that game that weekend, and then I didn't stop until I beat it. Then it had all that really good DLC back when DLC was still good and cool.
Yeah.
But Skyrim, being the cultural phenomenon that it was, and being my introduction really into the fantasy setting, that's a tough one. But if I had to pick like what my game of the year would be,
I'm curious.
Of those three, because I'm such a horror fan, I'm gonna have to go Dead Space 2.
Dead Space 2, that's also my answer, I think, but it's really tough. But for me, it's just tough
Yeah,
between Dead
it's a
Space 2 and
difficult
Killzone 3.
Same.
I was really struggling, but I think it's Dead Space 2 as well. And honestly, it's just the amount of memories I had with Dead Space 2. And like I said, it's my favorite Dead Space, whereas Killzone 3 is my second favorite.
Sam, you asshole, where did you go?
So,
no, you don't.
Well, nice.
I just see your ass.
I do appreciate you guys joining me today. I feel like that was a good year. That was a fun year. That year slapped. We graduated the right year to play some games for sure.
It was nice. Thanks for having us, man.
Of course.
Or at least
Alan, can I? Sam, thanks for joining us for the first time. That was kind of a fun little surprise. It was nice talking to you again. Definitely have to have you on again if you're interested in doing it. And Alan, do you have any last minute quotes you want to say to the audience?
I'm gonna have to think on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. I was not. This is funny. You caught me in a time where I'm just not prepared. Normally, I've got some really cryptic shit, but I'm kind of drawing a blank this time.
That's okay. I can give you a sec. I
Sam,
have editing power.
You got any cryptic shit? You want to close this one out?
Okay. Con el tiempo, todo se consigue. With time, everything is achieved.
I like it.
Hey, yeah, I dig it.
I like it. Sweet. Well, the new podcast also did just post yesterday morning, so you guys need to go check that out. Sam, I'll have you on again, and I hope everyone has a great day. Try to behave.